Yeah. Tough stuff. All right, let's see if they can recover in these positions under the murky clouds here in Berlin. As we get into our next game of Miramar, the plane will descend once again onto the desert, and we take a look at our 16 teams in their natural habitats going in to game number 34. It's over to Pansy and Demon.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go again. It's a decent plane for everybody, apart from probably the northern team, maybe say Razor Edge, where they are going to make the adjustment down to Porto Paris. So standard setup for these guys. We've kind of got a feel for where most of these teams will go and where their backup locations will be. And I think we're probably going to see a fairly respectful finish throughout the rest of the, what, 7, no, we've got 5 weeks left. There we go. Can't count. There's nothing new for
don't worry, I can't count either,
yeah.
let's be honest. If we could count, we probably wouldn't be commentators. Far better jobs out there. Anyway, love my job, please don't fire me. Let's have a little look. Anything interesting happening? Any new
M19 got a long way to go Valle del Mar, but that's about it, really. Because
Yeah.
FaZe obviously Monte Nuevo, looks like Navi back up to La Cabrera. So everybody in a relatively decent spot. Not too much between them. Shadow's got a little greedy. I can see Orange, or is it Blaston that's taking shots on Shadow there? I think he's nicked the vehicle away from Unity,
Yeah, he
so
dropped a car.
off he goes.
Yeah, but that's
The
about
GTA going on.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, Bestolch is off somewhere, so maybe just looking for, ooh. Hello, South.
Hello, Island.
Yes, please.
Lost Higos.
I'd
Okay,
love
let's
to
see
see
if it
that.
goes down that way.
It'd be
It's
such
got
good fun.
still got to be a big swing to go that way.
Yeah, again, it's always super unlikely.
It has happened online, but that is potentially a different version to what we're using here on the LAN client. So
Yeah, we've theorized this, and I think that's kind of been the point. But who does this play well for, and who are the issues? Oh, Christ, can teams stop hitting each other? I would say the one thing, so in comparison and contrast to the last circle, for example, that was far up in the north, which was a little bit tricky for some of the teams. The issue with this one is that there's nowhere as near as many access points to it. Unless you take a boat, obviously, which I guess you can do. But the point is, when it was up in the north, you had the whole circle to find your way in. And here, you don't. You have about half of it, really. And already that edge is going to be rife with teams.
it's a problem for M19 because they're only just getting in to Valle del Mar, so they're going to just start looting now. But the problem is, they're on the edge of the circle. Now, they're going to have teams like Winstrike that will probably rotate down that western road, and maybe even Navi that will be coming through. And M19 are going to be probably late, so maybe it's not so much a problem for M19. It might be a problem for Winstrike and Navi that could be rotating through a very late looting M19.
And you can just see the area that these guys are in, right? This is DMash right now. But this whole area is pretty rough to run through if you're not on the main roads. That whole southwest is very hilly. We saw it in the endings of the last couple of games.
Yeah.
It's very, very steep terrain.
Yeah.
Not nice for anything other than a bike, really, and even then it's still a bit tricky, liquid. But it could be a bit rough for some of these teams if they do want to use that western side. So it might even encourage the east play even more.
Yeah, and that's conversely another problem because Razor Edge are obviously now down in Porto Paris, so Reciprocity, G2, they all like to use this eastern road. Even ENCE to an extent tend to swing via south of Los Leones, with Los Leones encompassed still in the circle. Obviously, it does mean that a lot of people are going to be diverting around that. CrowCrowd themselves already look like to be the first to move. It looks like Set's going to go center compound. DA just starting to mobilize as well. Unity look to be heading down south. They're not going to try and catch people off guard this time because that backfired horribly yesterday for them. I do just wonder how rotations are going to work for the likes of Knights, NIP, TSM. All these teams have got obviously a plethora of squads ahead of them, like Team Liquid, Unity, Vitality, all sort of in the way. So just a straight south rotation's not really going to work out too well for them.
No, that is going to be interesting. I think the Knights could be a little bit later. It looks like Vitality's already on the move, so they could be one of the first teams to really head off that way. I would have said Unity or Team Liquid, but they are already in the circle, so they're just going to centralize up. They get a little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump ahead. Vitality were outside, so they're going to have to work their way in, but considering they're a little bit earlier than the others, they might be able to get their way through. Then they just have to worry about your Liquids, your Unities, who look like they're going for a similar compound in a similar area here.
TL are a little late. I mean, we're at the 4:30 mark, which is a little weird to say they're late to rotate because they're later than normal. Fast Rails obviously flipped his bike somewhere, so that's a problem. Then Porto Paris, so they're just going to revive him back on his feet. So Unity and TL coming back. Yeah, there we go. Minox is Got him up. Don't worry, bro. I got you. That's my Menox. That's my Swedish right there.
I'm not even going to comment on that. I have no idea what that was. But we are seeing most of the teams now working their way through. Na'Vi going right past Winstrike as well. That could be an early couple of shots coming their way, but I doubt Winstrike's going to fully commit. They're just going to probably head on the Western Road and get out of there themselves. Team Liquid didn't stop where I thought. They've kind of headed further down south, where CrowCrowd, DA, and Unity are all heading towards. So this could be a big scuffle for this sort of area here.
Yeah, I mean, DA obviously Kumisera dropped, so this is kind of their backyard. FaZe Clan also coming in south side of Kumisera as well, so they may even get involved in this little scuffle that's going on. This area where a lot of them are starting to gather, you can see where Senpai is. It is a massive hill, and you can see it there. DA on top of it. They have such a huge overlock down the whole of not only where CrowCrowd are, but the rest of it down towards the water, because it's just massive downhill area. So they've got a huge cover there. We have seen games finished just slightly north of where DA are, actually just down the hillside to the east, where Team Liquid look to be focused themselves. So they may even be gambling for that exact same spot. Unity taking shots on the back of Team Liquid. ENCE coming in through the south of Los Leones. Reciprocity are taking a further south route, making sure they avoid ENCE. And Raise Your Edge look to actually be coming in maybe near CrowCrowd.
Ooh, FuzzFace ain't far off either. This is really contested, this area. It's very, very fought for. There's not many teams that are going to be sticking on the edge.
And look at it, there's no cover. Like,
no,
if someone comes over the brow of a hill or has an angle from behind,
vision.
You've got nowhere to go. Yeah, and Fuzz is just like, okay, there's already a team there. Let's back away. Already on the hill.
But good scouting. Didn't take too much of a risk there. Hopefully he can get out without taking too many shots towards him. TSM on the way. They're coming in from the north quite late. Actually, their timing on rotation is actually pretty good. They don't have that many teams in front of them. Obviously, they can't go super central. They might have to play the outskirts a little bit here. It looks like FaZe have turned their attention towards M19 rather than heading further north. They're maybe trying to secure the area they're in, but they don't really have a home themselves yet.
Don't have a lot of gear. Look, there's no nades on ENCE there. That's somewhat surprising. So he hasn't managed to pick up too much. Took a big old hit as well. So slightly underlooted. A lot of teams with this circle did rotate fairly early. So we may be looking at low utility for a number of them. Fuzz just took a big hit from M19 as well there. And there's the knock. A Car 98. Beautiful shot. We just caught the tail end of it before the camera flipped away. But the tail end comes in.
That really is a shot. That's Wanderer. He's way further out. Don't look at Constantine or Dimash. It's the compound over in the distance. That's a very, very competent shot. Oh, that's like maybe 500 meters?
Yep. And he hit two of them back to back as well. Spanked him. Beautiful.
Oh, it's a lovely line of sight he's got there too. Just spamming on the right side of that tree or trying to get anyone who's trying to go for those revives. Just really good, competent play. FuzzFace is back up and he is being carried away in the strong arms of ENCE. Come with me, my child.
Come with me, my little Norwegian. But G2 going through Porto Paraiso. So we were talking about their swing. They will take that eastern road and they're going to come deep in. It could work out well for them because they're going to come in with the water on their backs in towards probably the rear side of Raise Your Edge. The circle continues to shrink down. There's FaZe. They've repositioned with their angles onto M19 in two compounds. Remember, they start down this south side. Winstrike doing a similar job. They've gone south of Valle del Mar and continuing all around at the moment. I'm just waiting to see whether this circle will give us a delightful little island finish.
Go on, go south, go south, go south, go south. Pray for the southern swing, but very unlikely. Winstrike would love a bit of that, wouldn't they? Winstrike or G2 would be straight on that. That would be brilliant, but that said, really unlikely to happen. We will see what occurs. TSM going towards the owners, actually.
Navi playing way out on the edge there. They're up at Lavdrilera, so that's miles away. TSM, yeah, like you say, edge of Los Leones at the moment, so still a long way out when you consider, actually, NIP are in Los Leones, so TSM got to be careful here. They may hear a couple of shots because there is shots being traded, but here we go. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Oh, hello.
Oh, you love to see it.
Hello.
Oh, go on.
Well, okay, so it could happen. So the reason we're setting this up, and yeah, we've talked about it a couple of times, this has happened in North American scrims. It's happened on the contenders as well. Have had it online as well. This week, actually, they had it this week. So it has finished on that island, is what we're talking about. And it's a potential. We know it is a setting that can happen. DA crashing in. That's just Senpai on his own. He's the only person from CrowCrowd there. So that's really nice scouting from DA.
Oh, this is lovely. Sigzy going to have to fall off from this one as well. We are seeing D8 on the move, moving their way up. It looks like CrowCrowd Senpai is having none of it. Vitality, the Knights, Team Liquid, some of Team Liquid are all in a scuffle in the north. You can see Reels capitalizing on that, catching off Nasus.
That's a big player for Vitality to lose early. There's Reels actually going down, and conversely from Team Liquid as they catch him out and Shadow down. This is all very messy on the hillside. Everybody's scrambling for those hillside positions. Reels gets down. Samty catching another one out there as Gemty finishes off Shadow. Ibby's been taken down by Drayden as well, though, so a bit of revenge frag coming across. That's a long way out as well.
Oh, that was a bit of a beastie shot. This is brutal. So many teams suffering at least, one knock. And the coach was saying it, you lose a bit of that morale when you lose out on a player early. This isn't really early.
Oh, he's found him in the smoke.
Oh my word, that's actually some really good spam. Just got a couple more hits. Oh, he's so close.
Oh my word, he's peppering through. There's another one. Ibby back on his feet. He's going to have to stay himself low. Gemty just runs for his life. Ibby will get revived behind the tree. Let's have a look at positions. NIP and ENCE are about to crash very close to one another. That's over on the eastern side coming out of Los Leones. TSM took that swing. We saw them going into Los Leones. They've gone way down to the south road. They may bump into the backside of G2, and there's ENCE and NIP clashing as Team Liquid continue to try and finish off maybe Drayden down low.
Can they get it? Mikas, that's not looking good for ENCE this time. Maybe it was their little bit of a time in the sun is now being clouded with shade. Ibby going to try and find a rock and do whatever he can to stay alive. This is all pretty rough. Team Liquid are at least in the circle. That's the one benefit here, whereas the Knights are still on the outskirts. Vitality, not a nice spot to be in.
No, they're losing tires, they're losing vehicles at the moment. They're down to 2, I believe, because we lost Shadow and Nasus in those rotations. Reels bleeds out. James will collect that kill. Team Liquid still pushing. Look at Gemty's flank on the Knights.
Yeah, Gemty's being naughty staying out this deep, but I guess he's trying to help out the other 2 players, or 3 players at the moment. And sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself for the greater good if you can slow him down.
That was a nice shot from Kemba.
Yeah, a real nice little fadeaway shot there with the mini, but going to fall off this one again, even though it's a little bit of style points. You don't want to give this one up, and we see TSM. Now, bear in mind, they were late to the north. Look at them all the way over in the east now, right next to G2.
Yeah, they went full through Los Leones. Oh, Snark, that's a dangerous, dangerous position going out. Hello, Drayden, you're spotted. That's not good.
No,
yeah, the
Drayden.
smoke dissipates. He just crawls out, and Gemty gets himself. We were talking about Gemty's flank. That little position works out wonders. That leaves the Knights just down to Znark and Wanted, I believe, up in that compound. They're going to hop in a vehicle and try and get out of this position.
Yeah,
FaZe are moving to a compound. Okay, it's a free compound. No problem for them. FaZe are just going to edge on down the hillside.
Yeah, it's a good little pickup for them, actually. It's not ideal. Obviously, it's not the best in the world, but it's pretty good.
Nobody, by the way, nobody has gambled on going to the island yet.
It's unlikely.
Oh, well. Okay, so we know that the next circle will pull away from this water, so we know that where Raise Your Edge are is most likely the central spot for the next circle. So everybody's going to be looking at, everybody works off the same information. They're all well aware that by Phase 4 it will pull away from water as best it can.
Yeah, again, though, it's still going to be a small enough circle. You can play down on that coastline to a lesser extent. Obviously, you don't want to. Raise Your Edge, super central. Reciprocity, super nice. That's a troll of a drop, isn't it? Look
bait goes onto the island. What are Navi going to do here? Because they've got Winstrike dead ahead of them. If they go up the road, FaZe Clan may have Team Liquid bearing down on them as well, as they start to look and try and cross over the hillside. There's a little bit of shots trading back and forward. Here's TSM. We saw they were pulling up near G2, just getting themselves on the edge and scouting what they can. NIP doing similar. They're coming across the fields on the eastern side. Unity, they're going for a big swing. They're going to rotate around the north side.
I don't blame them. You've got to try and find somewhere, but that north isn't really going to be accommodating too many teams. You can see Liquid already under fire, under pressure. FaZe in the same position, but they at least have Fuzzface and Mexi over the road, so maybe they can at least kind of leverage
Navi's
themselves off the back
them.
of it. But it is Na'Vi swinging. They might just try and send it somewhere, get on the hillside. The Knights could be a threat, and DA hold the line.
Okay, they're just going to go for that shack, or they're going to continue on the hill. It looks like they may continue here, Na'Vi. Going to plow on Friday. Now that's a big problem, because if they get on the top of this hill, they're going to have a great clean angle on the back of FaZe Clan. You can see them in the distance. As soon as they keep on going, if they go to that little shack, they will see Fuzzface and Mexi clear as day.
I don't know if they're going to go over the top or if where they're going to go here. Na'Vi could potentially be such a downfall. G2.
Oh, the Knights are going straight across
really
to...
nice spot
oh,
as
that's
well.
bad.
Yeah, Wanted's just heading in. They were just a step too late. It looks like Na'Vi literally did the exact same move, same sort of spot, just a little bit too late to party, but Uber just stole the kill.
Uber stole it. Uber stole it. Snark's coming in. Mexi getting revived by Fuzz at the moment. Here comes Snark. He's trying to come across. Now, the fact that that steal just came in gives, obviously, Na'Vi the information that they know. There is Na'Vi down, FaZe Clan down in that compound. down. Yeah, Snark, nowhere to go. Ramps it off the building and into the water. Down low he goes. He survived.
Where's seatbelts?
Oh, Nookie. Oh, my word. Some stunt driving coming out from Snark there.
It was beautiful. It was
Ooh,
majestic.
That's not pleasant, is it? Look at that little shack.
No, it's definitely not pleasant. Now, where is
did
D-Nash?
that
Oh, he's
come
behind
from?
him. He's not that far. He's behind. He's in the south. I thought it was going to be a bit of a big boy shot from somewhere across.
I think that's the second or third time. It's definitely the second. It may be the third time the Mex has been down, so he's going to be bleeding out fast. All right, circle shrink's coming in.
Where is it going to go? This it could be fun. We could have, if it hard shifts now, this is going to be so rough for so many teams because so many of these compounds are just like, people are so dug in here.
It's just going to pull to north. It's going to cause problems for the east and west side, I think. I reckon Razor Edge maybe, I'm pretty sure it's going to central up north. Yeah, okay, it has. It's gone over northeast, but that's caused a lot of problems. Look at this western side, very cluttered. This is going to cause a problem. And actually, this next circle's got a lot of open fields in it.
Reciprocity. I said it before.
Yeah,
this is your time.
This is their time.
This is your
this
time
is their
to shine.
compound.
Exactly. You hold all the cards.
ENCE made a good move. Look at that. They just beat NIP to the punch. They just got into that compound on the east. Now, Rustamar's in there, but NIP are coming in force. This is going to be ENCE and NIP clashing. We see Unity and Vitality really close to each other as well, but that compound is going to be a battle on the eastern side and a battle to hold. Who gets full control?
Away? I think ENCE just backed off from this.
They did.
Yep, and now they're in trouble.
They're going to go
you've
for the
got
compound south of Reciprocity.
Yeah, they can. Reciprocity, you've got to really show your cards here. I know it sounds always counterintuitive.
Oh, FaZe Clan are sending it.
Gotta
They're going straight across the north. Here we go.
Waiting.
Can they run over DA? Who's going to try and run them over? Can they get one? They got two! Oh, and that's going to be Iroh goes down as well. FaZe Clan motor on in there, and they can clean up the points, but they're getting shot from multiple angles as well.
Man, I thought they had a bit of a shot on that one. I thought it was all going to go their way, but my word, did that turn around. Absolutely nuts. What a crazy way to do it.
We were talking about Mexi. He's bled out. He's been down so many times, so it was expected he will bleed out very quickly. Oh, Dixu, this is not a great angle for you, is it? TSM, Michael up on high, taking shots down low. They've gone under the bridge to try and get themselves some cover.
Yep.
6mo, there we go, finished off.
Team Liquid
losing players. That's to Unity, who are up on the north.
The problem is CrowCrowd still are going to be the final boss of that fight. You've got Set and Senpai holding further on the edge of the compound. So if they make it out of this, they're going to be found by them. Oh, overextension from Ibby.
They got 3 down. Team Liquid are in trouble. Samti's the last man standing. They're getting wiped out here by CrowCrowd and Unity. The CAS battle combining. That was a nice headshot from Orange.
Yeah, that was really nice, actually. And it is just Orange, though. This northern side is going to be just so scrutinized. CrowCrowd, you spotted it earlier. They're in a really wonderful position. Very brave 2-2 split, but it's paid dividends. Samti is off. He's just going to find anything he can.
He's looking for a shack. He's looking for a shack.
Any shack will do.
Trying to pile himself in there. He's gone in. I think that's either a bike or a car. I'm not too sure. Probably blasting it in. He's got himself anything. There's a shack. No, there's a rock. The rock will do. The rock will do. That's what he wants. Oh, no. Tab's coming with a grenade.
No, Samti, back away, back out.
Let's go for the J-turn. There's a fancy J-turn.
Go on,
yeah, Samti, look at this. You can't mess with the finish and driving there. Experts.
Very good. Yeah, very good in that.
He's found himself that rock. That'll do.
Yeah,
oh, no. I think Vitality got him.
You know what, he just needs to lose the kind of attention for a second. He needs everyone to look elsewhere. M19 and Na'Vi might have a bit of work, and oh no, he's been spotted again.
Orange is trying to do similar. He's just, oh no, he's in a Murado. See, you don't bring a Murado to the job.
Oh, he's got a little bit of a dip there. There he is.
Is FaZe Clan? There's going to be a shot from FaZe any second. No, they're trading with CrowCrowd instead. Na'Vi, by the way, they decided to swing further down south on the roadside, coming in close to M19 and G2. TSM tucked in, so everybody now inside the circle, apart from a beautiful death who just needs to creep forward. M19 looking for kills, by the way. They're pushing onto Na'Vi down on the western side as 80 tries to move up. Nice shot from Kemba.
Kemba's a bit of a hot hand today, you know. He's really getting some shots through. Chris comes alive with the car 98 as Mikas goes down, but Razor Edge had a nice compound. This is good for any bolt action. You can just play out of it. They haven't had to move yet. They're kind of the more western version of where Reciprocity is, and the compound's still good for Reciprocity. Razor Edge, CrowCrowd in the north, everyone else in the south is in real problems.
There's an open... It's not the greatest of compounds, but there is an open compound on the northeastern side of this circle. So CrowCrowd generally, well, they should just be able to move across to it, and I think that's what they might do. Set's on the move already.
TSM's just flooding in.
Help them. TSM are going to pile for it now. If CrowCrowd are not careful, they're going to get in there. TSM, oh, I think that's just hit themselves a ditch.
There we go. Oh, no, the nade,
my God, Scoop. That could be a huge nade. Doesn't quite have the legs on it. They try and return some nades themselves, but meanwhile, a beautiful death just took down D-Mash. M19 wandering on his own there. Scoom, got to run away from those nades. They're coming back at you.
Oh, Scoom's deathly ill as well. He's starting to get the plague, and AIM's certainly suffering because of it, clearly.
Sending him into TSM.
Infect them. Patient zero, go. But,
NIP taking shots on TSM in the backside there, so they can't go out of that ditch. They're going to have to stay in it. Winstrike trying to take a wide rotate around the south. M19 coming north. FaZe are going to try and keep them at bay. Vitality and Team Liquid, by the way. Samti's little move, he's still alive, and he's dead center of this circle.
It's really nice. I don't know how he's managed that. Na'Vi being held down by G2. Currently, Chris has a step in the circle, so he's in a good spot. DA got caught off this time. No sneaky snakes. Going to try and make it late game. That's not going to be the case. Na'Vi down to, I think, just 2 players now, so they're running the low ground, just trying to find a way in, and I don't think they're going to be given one here.
Yeah, not going to work out. Bokemol doing best loss, trying to work the way in. M19 and G2 combined to ruin their game here, it seems. That's going to be Constantine. That's CrowCrowd getting involved on M19. They're trying to come down the hillside. It's horrible for them. Shiv's caught Rustamar out as ENCE try and make their move. They're trying to get out of this area. They're getting caught from behind. Winstrike, we saw them. They were coming out on the south side. Not working out for them. Bestalos goes down. That's Na'Vi out 14th place as G2 put pay to them.
Yep, and G2 again, still playing that great edge game. Scoom this time actually finds Tixu, so it's not TSM, but he's found someone. That's going to be Winstrike in a bit of a tricky spot. It looks like they're suffering behind ENCE. They're quite far out. And where's NIP being caught?
You said it at the start. This has got potential for be a massive game for Reciprocity, and they're collecting the kills. This is what they need. This is the points they need. They are so far behind on the bottom of that table. They're going to have a couple of monster games. That nade was pretty big. It finds Uber down low. It leaves 80 now, I believe, the last man standing for FaZe Clan as he tries to come across
just
and get
turned
the
up.
cover.
Squeaky and Mikas just trying to run in there as best they can, but there's so many squads on this. I think Mikas still stands, but I don't know for how long. He's got one TSM to his east. You've got Reciprocity in the north. G2 doing a similar thing here. Trifly, he's running out as well. This is just absolute madness from these teams, just clutching at straws.
Rafi manages to secure one. Udir will take down Trifly. That's ENCE done. 10th place for them. They had nowhere else to go. It was such a horrible naked run. The circle shifts. It's a pretty decent east shift for Razor Edge. They're going to be happy. Reciprocity's warehouse is kind of inside the compound still, so they have to keep TSM at bay behind them. CrowCrowd, who've been up in these hills, it's their time. They're holding the whole northern edge of this circle. They need to start stretching their arms a little bit and getting a little more power because Kemba and Set have to move.
Ooh, elite player in the smoke. I think he might have just stepped out of it, and that's enough for Senpai, or maybe just some lucky spam on that.
The cover fire that CrowCrowd effectively been given has helped FaZe Clan. They've got Uber back in his feet, so they're back to 2.
Not bad. Oh my word, 8C almost caught off Orange there as he tried to oh, is there an angle? I don't think there is under that car. I think it's just on the ridge enough. Set's going to make it back through, and CrowCrowd, yeah, they're actually in a nice spot now in the northeast. Obviously not ideal terrain in front of them.
Going.
And yet G2, it's their time. We saw ENCE try this, or TSM try it, but G2 have gone right down the middle. They're just rushing in with everything they've got.
They're going to go right on top of Vitality. Kramer's sat ready and waiting. They bail out right next to him. He's going to get one. Shiv actually catching Udir in the back there. Kramer down low. Chris comes right over the top of him. Doesn't manage to catch him out. TSM meanwhile are flanking around the backside of CrowCrowd as well. Kramer gets Chris down. He gets finished off. That's Vitality down in 9th place as G2 take control of the center circle. TSM in the north are pushing on CrowCrowd.
Yeah, this is insanity now. It's getting so hectic. Razor Edge going to push out. It's going to be M19. He'll be on the receiving end of that. G2 hold the dip. CrowCrowd going to be trying to keep TSM back in the northeast. CrowCrowd do have the circle, but TSM going to do everything they can, but I don't think they can make it out of this one alive. Rory's in danger. He goes down as Michael to last man standing. M19 have been spotted, and the nade is good from Fast Rail and Sigsy. That's them eliminated, and Razor Edge really coming alive here. They've pushed forward to this, but look who is pushing behind Unity, behind CrowCrowd. This is going to be a big play potentially from FaZe if they spot Orange. He's somehow gone unspotted.
Michael tossing the nades out. Yeah, FaZe Clan have got Unity to trip over. Fast Rail has a clean angle on them, doesn't he?
Oh, lordy.
Where's Chris? Gets 60. Yeah, all three of them all looking this way. Menox covering the backside. Uber down. He's been down so many times already, so he's just going to bleed out here. 80 may try and cover him off. He actually finds Orange in there as well, so Unity get picked off. They go down in 7th place. 80 got nowhere to go. He's going to try and get to this little ditch. Look to the left-hand side. There's a ditch there. That's the cover he wants, and he's managed to find it.
Yeah, this 3-1 push is really nice from Raise Your Edge. You're keeping Menox back as your anchor point, and you're leaving the rest to fight it out. You're like, all right, this is our territory, we hold it. Let's all look towards the north. Reciprocity hold the south. In the north, you've got G2, FaZe, and CrowCrowd.
Incredibly, CrowCrowd have got 4 back alive. They've managed to get everyone back on their feet. They've got 8 frags now. Michael coming in behind, bleeding out, finds himself a ditch and has to heal up. I don't even know if he's got anything left to heal himself.
This is a very big angle, and that's a lovely headshot coming in as well. Oh, 2 headshots, Senpai. CrowCrowd are deadly this game. ODS just got a nade to him. Brexco's barely standing. With
CrowCrowd pushing, this is Reciprocity's time. They have to move on the back of G2 because CrowCrowd are coming in straight on G2.
Yeah, it looked like Scoom wanted to, but right now it should be their time to pounce. This should be their moment, and it looks like that hesitation might hinder them as CrowCrowd.
It's too late.
Sweeping through.
They're moving now.
Rail got Senpai. That's the back and forth, but now they're moving. But is this too little too late?
Well, Tab's coming down. If he looks down the hillside, he's going to see 3 members of Reciprocity coming straight at him. Scoom's got the angle. Raise Your Edge are up on the top of the hill. They have this edge position, but you can see Reciprocity down there. Scoom's not watching. That nade's going to catch him square on the side. Haxetti, though, nades is close enough. He's caught Tab, and Tab's going to be done because CrowCrowd are still up on the hill.
Right, Reciprocity need to sweep as a collective, move through this. CrowCrowd don't have to focus towards Raise Your Edge, but that should be Reciprocity's time. Michael could be a real threat, as can ENCE.
Chris's push over this hill could be massive. He's going to have full vision as soon as he comes over here, and Reciprocity not ready for it. They're focused on CrowCrowd. They have to look towards this ridge line.
But I don't know if he can do this completely safely, because FaZe can't make any sort of progress and hold that western side because of Kemba, because of Senpai. They have to do this as a collective, or you can't do it at all. They might have to move away, and I think that's the plan right now. Reciprocity still need to worry about CrowCrowd peeking that ridge line.
The Snake's still in there as well. 8C on that ditch. Michael on the ditch coming in the back of CrowCrowd, so they have to deal with these. Shiv's actually looking to the right. He's going to see Michael. Michael will go down. That's CSM done in 5th place as 8C keeps on creeping behind CrowCrowd. Shiv's flank is really nice here.
Yeah, Shiv's flank is really, really good. He's going to play safety net basically to ensure that CrowCrowd cannot flank behind them. Raise Your Edge this time recommitting to that push to try and deal with CrowCrowd, but it could open them up to Reciprocity. It's a very big stalemate right now. If you see 2 knocks, maybe more, it'll be go time. 8C could be the downfall of CrowCrowd. They seem completely unaware of his positioning, and eventually he's going to have to strike. If Set gets any closer, he might have to do so. For now, he waits. As Scoom and Haxetti looked like they wanted to work towards Raise Your Edge, but now they're looking back towards CrowCrowd.
Scoom and Haxetti are center point in this circle. They hold the middle ground. 11 kills and counting for CrowCrowd, but that's a big hit. Shiv managing to catch Senpai down. He has to duck down, but he's got 7 first aid kits in there. Would you believe it? Set. Look at how close 8C is to him.
I'm really worried, though. That's a very true situation. Why is there no one in the south for Reciprocity? I'm worried that
He just
Rafi
ran straight over him.
How is that even happening?
He just ran straight over 8C's banana suit.
I'm really worried that Rafi was a little late to this. That could have been room potentially for Menox or Fast Rail, because they like to do those deeper splits to move on the southern side to try and get vision on that little bit of a rolling hill. But they're going to do that anyway. The timing didn't really affect them too much. Everyone can get into this, but CrowCrowd are starting to get pinned. They're starting to find very little territory to work with because Sigsy is holding that entire side.
Scoom's fairly visible to us, but of course, if you're in first person, then you wouldn't have vision on them. 8C, we can see crawling in the corner, keeping up behind Set. Senpai's just to his side. Shiv holding the angle that he can. There's nothing here. There's that ridgeline that Reciprocity have.
Yep.
You've got to feel they have the advantage because they have this ridgeline cover. Scoom is going a little too over peaky there.
We'll see. It's always on that first knock. That's literally, it's stalemate until that point because no one wants to give up the upper hand. No one wants to be that second team. You always want to be the third team. Chris, this is his time to really start working. This is where those one-shot headshots come into play. That's what you should be aiming on. You've got the spam from the minis, from everything else. You want to be trying to be accurate as possible. That could be maybe the downfall of Reciprocity, but that's, again, very tricky to pull off. And they're slowly but surely getting work back. CrowCrowd do need to move forward, so does 8C. And eventually, 8C will be forced to fight. It has to happen soon. Scoom and Rafi are moving up here.
Now he sees Senpai and Set. They both just stood up right in front of him, so 8C's aware that there's 2 here. Here we go. Looks left. Can't see the one on the left. Looks for the snake. Spins around. Finds the second. 8C takes them both down. Scoop will finish 8C off. Doesn't matter. 4th place for them. The damage has been done. And now Reciprocity move on to Kemba. Kemba's the last man standing for them.
This is really good moves from Fast Rail as well, but Haxetti is waiting. This is the Battle in the North done. CrowCrowd are out of this one. That is them irrelevant. Kemba's still alive, but he should be found. Rafi's found Chris. They held the line really well. Kemba, though, applied some pressure, and that catches off Scoop. How has Kemba done done that. That's sloppy from Reciprocity. That should have been theirs.
FaZe's flanking around the backside of them. He might be able to have a clean shot on all of Reciprocity. FaZe will get an angle. Look at this. You can see he's coming around the backside there. Raise Your Edge have this little spot covered behind the tractor. FaZe now moving up the ledge line. He's right behind Haxetti. FaZe's there. We're not even seeing it. It's right in the distance. Now FaZe pulls back away. He already took the shot onto Haxetti. It's too late.
This is a big battle. FaZe's position is so paramount. You can see the spray. Now Reciprocity are not safe on this ridgeline anymore. FaZe needs support. He can't do this alone. Haxetti can isolate him. And that's his plan right now. That is what he wants to do, is get him out of this picture.
It's a 4v4. Everybody back on their feet. It's all to play for. Raise Your Edge versus Reciprocity. The new boys, can they get their first victory here in Phase 2? Smokes going out. Haxetti just going to build himself a wall and try and use it to flank around as the circle centers. They hold the center point. It's Raise Your Edge that has to push in.
They need a knock. If you're Raise Your Edge, you need a knock. If you're Reciprocity, you need sustainability. You need to not overextend. You need to not feed in this
Shiv's
one.
down low.
FaZe looks like he wants to go here. Shiv's going to probably sacrifice himself to the blue if he has to control circle position. He'll work it slowly forward. You're seeing Chris holding the north. You've got FaZe in the south. Sigsy and Minox needs to work into this one. Same with Haxetti and Raffi.
Shiv
and
sees
this is
him.
the push. Shiv gets the spot. That's big. Time to move up. Call to Haxetti, get ready, because they're going to try and work from this side. Actually, FaZe fell off that.
Yeah, well, they both spotted each other. Shiv kind of backed away, Haxetti backed away. Raise Your Edge, I don't like this. They've kind of clustered. They've kind of grouped all up, whereas Reciprocity have a really nice spread. Menox and FaZe are going to move as a 2. Chris gets a couple of shots down to Scoom, can't manage to find him. Did get a little tag. Nothing else came from it, though.
There's a little bit of a dip on this hillside. Those smokes are still up, so they've got time to move forward to Raise Your Edge. They do get closer towards Scoom and Raffi. Haxetti and Shiv waiting for the springboard off the back of it, though.
How great tactically is this? There's no grenades on show. He's gone gunplay. Haxetti gets spawned. That's a return, though. Scoom goes down, so it's a 3-3. Haxetti on the spray. Trying to push around. Tries to little spray through the smoke. Not going to work out for him. Chris hits the deck.
Trying to get the heal off desperately to keep himself in this battle. Haxetti sprays in. Only finds Fast Rail. That's fine. That's the knocked player. 3 still stand for Raise Your Edge. Scoom is knocked, and here comes the push.
Oh, the knock! It's massive! Raffi!
Raffi, what a play!
Wow, they did it! It's finally happened! Reciprocity get themselves a victory here